Hola, it's Gabby here for Crafty Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to make 6 cards using cross-stitch rectangle from my favorite things. Right now I'm doing a pattern with flamingos, and I'm going to do also how I make a pattern using a stamp. When we do a pattern using a stamp, we need to try to get the symbols of the stamps, because the more complicated is the stamp, of course, the more complicated it is to transform the stamp to a cross stitch pattern. As you see here, I making the flamingos, adding the colors. I want to find the floss, the DMC floss, and I also the background. In this one I was thinking to stitch all the background in blue, light blue, and in the bottom part dark blue, but I pick up, I grab blue paper and I cut my die cut in there. I think I rather to have the white paper, because the blue paper you can see it through the floss and it doesn't look better. I rather to have the white paper on the bottom. You will see that later on in the video. Right now you're going to see how I made the pattern using a stamp, and I grab this stamp that is very simple, and I just trace a line and modify it to be a cross stitch pattern. After I finish this, you will see all the other samples already made, and a little bit of how I stitch this. I stitch with all 6 strands of the floss. The stitch here is very thick, but that's a preference. You can use 2, 3, or whatever you want, but I like them to be like full the image. I also I also try to match the color for what I want, because I already placed the colors in the pattern. You will see that I made flip-flops. I made this one, the flamingos, and I also made pineapples using the ombre DMC floss, and I did a rainbow. I'm going to place all the patterns and the stamps that I use for this in the description below, and also in my blog. You see here the flip-flops. I cut the cross-stitch rectangle in craft paper, because I want to make like it's already in sand. That is, the flip-flops are on the beach. When I after I finish the stitching, I will decorate all the cards. Okay, to decorate this card, I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided stick tape, and I'm going to do like a wave, and I'm going to use it as separation from the sand and the sea, because I want to make that like the flip-flops are in just the place where you separate the wave and the sand. But I get confused, and I was thinking that I'm going to make sand. when I already have the sign. It's for that I use the craft paper. But no problem, I just grab this. I add my distress glitter that I love this color for sand. I always use it for sand. I grab a little bit of Mod Podge in glossy, that way I don't lose the shiny of the glitter. And I'm going to add puffy white paint with this puffy marker. And after that, I'm going to apply heat, and the paint get puffy. When I finish doing this is when I figured out why I'm making the sun is why I already have the sun. But I grab my distress ink in blue, and I just add a little bit of in a bag that I have next to me, and a little bit of water, and I color it, and it look very nice because it look like the water that coming to the sand, just in the shallow part of the sea, of the ocean water. When I'm finished doing the whole card, decorating and everything, I'm going to add glossy accent to the part of the water. I'm going to grab a speech bubble, but I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to stamp with Versamark, I think, yeah, Versamark, and I was going to add with white embossing powder, and I decided to add tone on tone, and I did it with clear embossing powder, and I'm going to glue it to the panel with double-sided foam tape, and cut the part that is hanging out of the panel. After that, I'm going to add some big jewels in the center of the flower of the flip-flops, and I'm going to add some of these shells. They are tiny shells. To glue the shells, because they are shallow they are hollow, in the inside, I use it's called 3D glue dots. They are very thick, and they are perfect for this. As you see here, I'm stitching the big jewel because they have a hole in each side, and you have to remember to do this before gluing to the card base. For the card base, it's just white, normal cardstock in white, like I say, and a frame that I cut with a long fan frame. I grabbed the big one. You will see the process of this cutting the frame and everything in the next card. As you see here, I'm adding the glossy accent to the water. Okay, now I'm going to make the avocado card, and I didn't find any place where I can put the sentiment. Then I decided to add the sentiment in the corner of the card, and putting tape or post-it tape in top of the part of the sentiment that I don't want to stamp. And then I grab it, I stamp it in the corner of the paper. Because it didn't stamp very well, I held up with a little bit of black gel pen, sorry. And then I cut it with a zigzag die cut and glue it to the, I first add the borders with distress ink in peel paint color, and I also going to do the same thing all around the card panel, because I did like the effect that it made. And then I will glue it, and I will add the whole border in the card panel with the peel paint. choose brown for the frame. As you see here, I cut the frame, and now I'm going to make my car base. And I'm going to glue the frame, and then I'm going to glue the car. The car, because it's very thick for the thread, for the DNC floss, I'm going to glue it with double-sided stick tape. And I'm going to add just the tape where I have stitches and all around the border. And it holds very well. I choose the brown because it will match with the sea of the avocado and will connect everything. After I glue my car, I'm going to add clay pink hearts, and I also going to add wing costella all around the border or the frame. Now we're going to decorate the flamingo car, and I adding clouds and a happy sun. I want this to be a little bit more cartoony, and I'm going to glue this, and the sun I'm going to glue it with double-sided foam tape, and I also going to cut a sun in black to add the eyes and the mouth of the sun. After that, I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I think same way to go. And I'm going to trace like a bubble around the sentiment to cut it. You see here right now I'm adding googly eyes to the flamingos. Like I say, I want it a little more cartoony. And that, after I trace the bubble with my pencil, I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to glue it with double-sided foam tape to the car. And after that, I'm going to add red clay hearts all around the flamingos. When I'm finished doing making the car, I just going to add a little bit of gel pen, glitter blue gel pen in the bottom part of the car, and it made the threads be like tiny. For these cars, I use the ombre effect or the multicolor thread from DMC, and I try to use the darker color for the bottom of the pineapples. This is going to be a very simple card. I'm just going to stamp the sentiment that say aloha, and I'm going to stamp it with my first colors. I don't remember what they are called. In 3 colors. I'm trying to do the ombre effect, but it didn't work that well, but it looked nice, I think. And I'm going to do the same thing I did in the flamingo car. I'm going to trace with my pencil, and then I'm going to cut the bubble, and then I'm going to glue. I'm using here clear embossing powder, and I'm going to glue that bubble to orange paper to have a little bit frame, that way the sentiment don't get lost in the background that is also white. I also glue it the same way I glue the other one, with double-sided fun tape, and I'm going to add the glasses that I previously cut from the same stand set from Lone Farm, and I'm going to make my card base, add my frame that is green, and add my card the same way I add the other ones with double-sided stick tape, and I'm going to add in the glasses the glossy accent. I glue the glasses to the pineapple using fabric glue. After I finish this card, I'm going to start making the rainbow card. As you see here, I have the rainbow card, and I'm going to add a cloud. I'm measuring where I want it and trace with a pencil, and there I add the glue to this, and the glue didn't stick very well, and then later you will see that I take it off, and I will add double-sided stick tape. The double-sided stick tape is the one that worked the best for me in this case, because I tried with glue and everything, and the things put off very easily, except for the jewels that I place, that I use fabric glue if it's in top of the stitching, and I use normal glue if in the paper. As you see here, I add my sentiment, my frame, and I glue everything, and I add in Wing Costella to the whole cloud. This was very fast. I didn't add any jewels or anything else. That's it. Now I'm going to do the nail polish card. I use jewel effects for the stitching. Very difficult this stitching, because the thread is very hard and it's a lot of work. As you see here, I'm making the bubble, the same thing. I'm going to cut it and glue it down in the middle of the bottle. I also, with the same paper, I'm going to make a bow, and I'm going to use a brad to get it inside, because I didn't want to use tape or glue or anything, because it's thick, and I think this is going to be unglued in no time. With the brad, it's going to be secure. Nobody's going to put it out, because it's going to be glued in the card base. And I'm going to add jewels all around, even in the middle of the brad, because it was silver, but I want something more like fancy, tiny, and I add the jewel in there. And I also going to add jewels all around the card in different sizes, and I'm going to glue them with fabric glue. When these jewels are dry, I'm going to glue my card panel to my card base using double-sided stick tape. In this case, I put it in the whole card, because the whole card is stitched. I glue it down, and you see the frame is the same paper I use for the bow and for the sentiment. And now I'm going to show you all the cards that I made. I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.